Hello everyone, this is Francis from Vancouver. How was your week? Hope it was a great one. Any of you ever had any difficulties, bounce back, or adversities that's shitty in their life? I have. And what I wanted to share with you is how you bounce back and how you become more resilient. 2 years ago, what I did is I did a trip in Bali, and it was an amazing trip. And at first it was difficult because I was traveling alone and I felt sorry for myself. I don't know if you've ever done that. But when it's the first time, you're scared, you don't know how you're going to approach the people, and you don't want to beg for attention. It was not so easy. So it took me a couple days, if not a few days, to just adjust to this situation. And I remember one day I was in that coffee shop, and I just decided to say, you know what, just enjoy your time. Like, you cannot control the situation, so just enjoy your time. And then as soon as I kind of switch and have a different mindset, somebody came in and sat next to me, and I had one of the best conversations I've had for the last few days. And then right after the conversation, that person had to leave. And so my first reaction is like, oh man, that sucks. Like, I for the first time I had a good conversation with someone. Like, what am I gonna do now? Like, it really sucked. Like, am I gonna be in that same bad feeling again? But then instead, I remember a lesson that I've had the day before that. And what happened is that I was just looking at the waves, hours and hours in a row. Like, you're alone, so you're really looking at the waves. But what I noticed, and you'll probably notice the same thing, and it's kind of very simple, but the wave is always coming in and always coming out. And that's the beauty of nature. Nature is so powerful that it can teach us something amazing. And I realized that there's always going to be a wave coming in and always a wave that's going to come out, no matter what. It's like, when you're trying to breathe, are you going to try to hold on to that breathing and say, oh, this is maybe the last time I'm going to get air? No, there's always air. There's always air all the time. We don't have to worry about it. But why do we worry when we lose something in our life? Why do we worry when we have a setback or difficulties? Is it because we think that there's nothing else that's going to happen? So as soon as I remembered that little nature lesson that I had with the waves, as soon as I had that, then I started to just really relax and just pay attention to what was around me. And as soon as I did that, another person came in, and it was another great conversation. And I kept that cycle of coming in, coming out all the time, and I had one of the best trips ever in my life. This week, I was reminded of that lesson because on Friday, I had a client that came in, and it was really an amazing week so far. And sometimes there's a trash that comes in. And like my accountability partner would say, how can you turn a trash into a treasure? And that's from London Porter, my best accountability partner ever. And so what happened is that my client calling me is like, Francis, we got that approved. We can get the house that we want. And I'm so happy. I'm like, woohoo, we're going to celebrate. That's awesome. So I'm driving back. I'm going to play hockey. And then as soon, maybe 5 minutes after, I got another call. Yeah, I don't know what happened, Francis, but yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's not gonna happen? Yeah, I mean, the mortgage broker called me back and they said they made a mistake and it's not gonna happen. I'm like, oh man, that really sucks. And you're trying to digest the whole information, and then you realize that there's nothing you can do. This is what it is. The wave came in, it has to leave. And then we're like, well, you know what? Let's move on. Let's just go get another property. There's nothing else we can do next. And in my mind, I really left, and I didn't try to hold on to that thing. And magically, and we thought it was almost impossible, but the seller wanted to keep the property, or not the property, but was able to extend that contract for until Wednesday. So we have still the chance to win that. And we really thought it was impossible, but I think it happened because we were able to let it go. Really say, you know what, there's going to be another wave, it doesn't matter. But thankfully, by doing that, the seller is willing to give us more time. That same day, I had a call from a client of mine and a friend, and she's like, I hate to say this, Francis, but, we cannot do business with you. And she's like, it's not my decision, it's not my husband's decision. It really sucks. I don't know, it took me all my energy to just call you. We're getting the money from the family, and, we have to use the family's realtor. And it sucks, at first. But then I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter. I know that there's going to be another wave coming in, so I just say, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Hopefully the tricks that I gave you, you're going to be able to use it. And all I want for you guys is you'll be able to find a dream house, and that's all that matters. And now the magic happens A day after, I got another lead, and I got even another lead today. So it's 2 leads that came back. So the point of the message is that sometimes, when we're struggling, we're losing something, it might be a relationship, might be a job, or there's a difficulties. We feel maybe that there's nothing else that's going to come in. And it's hard. And that's where we suffer. But if you just look at nature, if you just look at how we breathe in, we breathe out, when a wave comes in, when a wave comes out, there's always going to be another wave. There's always going to be another wave. So if one of you had that situation this week, or next time you have a situation, a setback, or you feel you're losing something, well, remember that. Remember that there's always going to be another wave coming in. So if you think that this message can be useful for someone, share it to your friend, share it to the people you love. I really love you guys, and I wish you an amazing week. Remember, there's always going to be a wave coming in. See you guys.